It is said that chronic loneliness is as bad for your health as smoking cigarettes and can decrease your lifespan by approximately 14%. Now, those are some quite joyous statistics, and I hope to break those down and give you the tools and tactics that have helped me, I guess, feel a more genuine sense of connection. As when I first came from Zimbabwe, which was a completely different culture to where I am currently in Australia, I really struggled adapting to new cultures. But these three practices that I'm going to share with you definitely helped increase, I guess, my sense of connection, whether they were from China, South America, or even in Australia themselves. These three things have revealed things to me that I never thought was possible. The first point is you have to be genuinely curious in getting to know that person. That person has their own movie playing in their mind, and everyone has a different movie that's going on in their mind about how their life is, all their different experiences, and everyone can always teach you something. An example of this is the famous author Dale Carnegie has this quote which I love, is to be interesting, be interested. And put aside your conceptions or your assumptions about understanding who that person is. As often the more we get to know someone, the more we realize we don't know about them. An example of this recently was during my one uni project. I was talking to Soooo and Soooo. Soooo was from Cambodia and Soooo was from China. And they were still learning English, so there was a bit of a language barrier, but I just told myself, I was like, I'm just going to be genuinely curious in what they have to say and what they have to bring to the discussion. And I found out that Soooo was a very successful online and digital marketer and started her own online commerce business in China, had moved and traveled to Nepal because she wanted to break free from the constant grind and lifestyle. And I found her whole story fascinating. Secondly, with Soooo, I kept curious about what he was interested in, and I found out that he had recently found out about the benefits of meditation, which I did a video on recently and I'm really passionate about. And I was amazed to hear the way it had impacted him and made him feel calmer, less angry, and he seemed like such a calm guy. And he just said he had anger problems for a while, not anger problems, but just felt really angry a lot of the time. Then once he started breathing exercises and stuff like this, it completely changed his world. At the beginning of that conversation, I had no clue it was going to go there, and we ended up talking for around 4 hours about life and everything that had happened to us and our stories involved. And that just came from having this open mind and just being curious about what people had to teach me and what I had to learn from them. The second point, don't confuse competence with equality or self-worth. This one is quite a tricky one, especially for humans, as we're often organized in hierarchical structures. And we can tend to place that title as who I am. And then we view certain titles and base our self-worth on the certain titles that we have. But if you ever had a connection with someone, if someone feels better than you or they feel like they're superior to you, you don't really feel connected to them. And it's the same as if you view someone as lower than you, you don't really feel like you want to connect with them. So therefore this underlying foundation of viewing everyone as equal, but people have different competencies. An example of this would be Federer. I really admire Federer and everything he's done, and he's far more confident than me and would obliterate me on the tennis court most likely. But I could still view myself as a human with equal worth to him. And when I connect with him, I might feel slightly nervous, being more realistic about it, but if I viewed it as a human interaction as opposed to just being Federer's fan or just bowing down to Federer, I would much likely have a greater connection. As I'm sure in your life, maybe there's been someone who you've admired or looked up to, and you feel a sense of nervousness around them because you want to feel like you impress them, and then you feel like you end up doing the opposite. So this need to feel better than or worse than someone just numbs down the connection that we feel. And viewing someone as equal results in just being more open to who you are and a greater sense of connection. Not everyone's going to like you, so just be honest. This one is something that I kind of struggled with, as sometimes you want to please people or be liked by lots of people, and you just realize it's not possible to be liked by everyone. And this can lead to putting on a fake front. And this, even though you may get liked for this fake front, you don't feel a sense of connection as to who you are. and you don't feel genuinely happy to be around that person, as you're constantly trying to monitor who you are. It creates more stress or more work. There's been psychological studies that have been shown that people who lie a lot often feel a greater level of stress, because unconsciously in your brain you're constantly trying to monitor what you have to say next. It doesn't flow through what you actually want to say. You have this greater filter for your expression as to what's going on around you. And I found this fascinating, and it's definitely something that I want to improve on and get better at, as we don't realize how often sometimes a little lie or exaggeration or something slips. But when you can almost eradicate them completely from a conversation within what you're doing, you feel a greater sense of ease. And obviously you're not going to dump all your baggage onto someone as soon as you meet them, but having this genuine connection and honest interpretation within your discussion just makes a level of trust there and just builds that genuine connection, and you can authentically share the experiences that are meaningful to your life.
Okay, so I was chatting to Liv about it, and she had a great quote by Dr. Seuss.
So Dr. Seuss said, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind."
Now it's just about applying and actually bringing those three elements to your next interaction. It's a very easy practical step or practical reminder next time you go into an interaction is just to think curiosity, equality, and honesty, and see wherever that conversation leads you, and just be fully present and fully there with that person.